As we celebrate the 216th anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Caye and the 33rd anniversary of our nation's independence, please allow me to share with you my interpretation of the meaning behind our national anthem, Land of the Free. Land of the Free was first written as Land of the Gods by Samuel Haynes and the music by Walford Young. Samuel Haynes, the author of our national anthem, took part in World War I as part of the colonial effort for Great Britain and encountered much abuse and ridicule along with his fellow workers. On his return to Belize, he became part of the workers' movement and is readily identified with the 1919 ex-servicemen's riot, which began on July 22nd. After that riot was suppressed, Haynes began organizing Belize's branch of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, and facilitated the visit of its head Marcus Garvey of Jamaica. Garvey recruited Haynes to work with him in the US, a move that rendered the UNIA in Belize leaderless for much of the 1920s. Haynes most likely wrote the anthem as an answer to colonialism's stifling of the Belizean identity. The song is linked to the end of Belize's colonial period, a process that culminated on September 21, 1981. The song was originally titled Land of the Gods, meaning a place that had everything and gifted by the gods. In other words, a perfect land. When it was adopted as our national anthem, the title was changed from Land of the Gods to Land of the Free. Allow me now to share with you my interpretation of the meaning of the national anthem applied in today's modern Belize. O land of the free by the Carib Sea, our manhood we pledge to thy liberty. No tyrants here linger, despots must flee, this tranquil haven of democracy. At the time of writing this, the movement to independence was in its full swing. As I said earlier, Samuel Haynes came back to Belize after World War I, having experienced colonialism, and in my mind, yearning to be free of its chains. This is a land blessed by the gods, a perfect land, but yet it was not free to chart its own destiny. Its inhabitants who fought in World War I were ridiculed and treated as second-class citizens. So he pledged all our efforts to the liberty of the land we love. He referred to the colonial power as tyrants and despots who must flee this tranquil haven of democracy. Belize is the oldest democracy in the region, dating back to 1765 when Admiral Sir William Burnaby arrived from Jamaica and created the earliest form of democratic government for the settlement of Belize in the Bay of Honduras, known as the Burnaby Code. That was in 1765. The United States of America declared its independence from Britain 11 years later on the 4th of July 1776. The other Central American countries gained their independence from Spain in 1821. The Burnaby Code of 1765, the earliest form of democratic government in this area, provided for voting at public meetings, which were presided over by magistrates. An example of the public meeting at work is the historic vote taken at the public meeting on the 1st of June 1796 in face of an imminent Spanish invasion. The decision was taken with a vote of 65 in favor of staying and defending the settlement and 51 against. This vote set the stage for the Battle of St. George's Caye, an example of democracy at work. We eventually became a colony of Great Britain at our request, but after close to 100 years of colonial domination, we're now ready to once again become masters of our destiny. So, land of the free by the Carib Sea, our manhood, or all that we are, we pledge to your liberty. No tyrants here linger, despots must flee this tranquil haven of democracy. The blood of our sires, which hallows the sod, brought freedom from slavery's oppression's rod. By the might of truth and the grace of God, no longer shall we be hewers of wood. When I sing this verse, my mind goes back to those who over the years gave their lives in building and defending this land against all odds. I think of the settlers that were driven from St. George's Caye in 1754, yet returned within a year. The attacks by the Spaniards in 1779 against the settlers who were marched to Merida and afterwards shipped to dungeons in Havana, Cuba. Some may have died in the process, yet they returned. In 1786, when the British evacuated the Mosquito Shore in Nicaragua as required by treaty, their families and slaves were brought to Belize. And some 12 years later, along with the remaining captives from the dungeons of Havana, were prepared to lay down their lives at St. George's Key in defense of the settlement in 1798. I think of those who lost their lives at the Battle of Laboring Creek and many other battles fought in this country when slaves and masters fought shoulder to shoulder. I think of the Guerra de Castas in Mexico that brought the mestizos to Belize, the sufferings of the Garifuna people in their journey from St. Vincent, Marcos Canul and the Maya who fought and in some cases died for what they believed was right, the many who may have died in the cutting of logwood and mahogany, which was the economic base of the settlement, the East Indians and Chinese who suffered hardships in coming here as indentured servants after slavery was abolished. I think of the horrors of the various forms of slavery our people, the founders of today's Belize, were subjected to. Yes, the blood of our sires hallows the sod, and it brought freedom from slavery's oppression's rod. By the might of truth and the grace of God, no longer shall we be hewers of wood. I believe that in the end, truth always prevails. And the truth, the only truth I am prepared to accept, is that this land is ours, all 8,867 square miles of it. But another truth that I think was in the writer's mind is that by the grace of God, we will move beyond a single economy which was based on hewing wood towards a more diverse economy that would bring prosperity to all. But we must be prepared to do what the chorus of the anthem says. Arise, ye sons of the Baymen's clan, put on your armor, clear the land, drive back the tyrants, let despots flee from the land of the free by the Carib Sea. When I think of sons of the Baymen's clan, I think of all of us who are true sons and daughters of Belize, no matter where you come from. We must wake up and realize that this is our land. It will become what we make it. Our success as a people in this tranquil haven of democracy lies in our ability to indeed unite in peace, put on our armor, and clear the land of all grudges, hatreds, old beefs, discrimination, and all that divides us as a people, and together, hand in hand, work to clear the land, driving back all the tyrants and despots who seek to spread the messages of disunity and sow the seeds of discontent among our people, causing us to live in mental slavery. Together, let's make sure that this continues to be the land of the free, not only physically free, but also mentally free, loving each other and living in peace and harmony. So, arise, ye sons of the Baymen's clan, put on your armor, clear the land, drive back the tyrants, let despots flee from the land of the free by the Carib Sea. The second verse of our anthem begins, Nature has blessed thee with wealth untold, o'er mountains and valleys where prairies roll. Our fathers the Baymen, valiant and bold, drove back the invader, this heritage hold. Nature has indeed blessed us in Belize with wealth untold. I say without any apologies that if you carve out 8,867 square miles any part of this earth, you will not find the blessings of nature so fully manifested and bestowed. You will not find the wealth untold over mountains and valleys where prairies roam. I think of the largest barrier reef and the 3 out of 4 atolls in the Western Hemisphere. Our keys, lakes, lagoons, mountains, valleys, Mayan temples, rainforests, mangrove forests, wetlands, waterfalls, caves, prairies, and much more. But most important, I think of our people of diverse cultural backgrounds, but with one common identity, that of a Belizean living in peace with each other. Yes, nature has blessed us with wealth untold, and over the years, our forefathers fought off the invader or would-be invader, not only militarily in the 1700s, but diplomatically in the 70s and 80s, and paved the way for this 33-year-old independent country of Belize to become a center of refuge for all. Over the years, Belize has become home to many. First to the early Mayans, and then to the pirates and buccaneers who became logwood and mahogany cutters and established a base in the country different from anything else around them. Or Creole people of African descent, the mestizos who came over during the caste war to find peace, the southern Maya who were being mistreated and abused in Guatemala, the Garifuna who were subjected to the horrors of war and massacre and deportation from their homeland St. Vincent, the East Indian and Chinese who came as indentured servants in the 1800s, the Mennonites, Europeans and Americans and other nationalities who are now Belizeans and love Belize. I also think of the new immigrants from neighboring Central American countries. Some came fleeing from civil wars and found refuge in this tranquil haven of democracy. This is indeed a land of freedom-loving people with various cultural backgrounds, but one common identity: Belizean. The second verse of our national anthem ends by saying, "From proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon, through Coral Isle over Blue Lagoon, keep watch with the angels, the stars and moon, for freedom comes tomorrow's noon." Here the borders of our country are clearly spelt out. From proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon River, from Half Moon Key to the border with Guatemala, with markers at Gracias a Dios, Garbutt's Falls, and Aguas Turbias, and I have been to all of them. This is our Belize. Let us all watch over it. Watch over it like the angels. The stars and moon keep watch over us, for freedom comes tomorrow's noon. We have gained our political freedom, but we will not be truly free until we have gained our economic freedom, where every Belizean can be a part of the growth and development of the new Belize. We can only be truly free if as a people we free our minds from the prejudices of the past and concentrate on what unites us instead of what divides us. We need to move forward united as a country. I dream of a Belize where a Belizean can stand proud, speak his mind with respect for the rights of others, fully understand and appreciate his or her culture and history, and learning all the cultures that make up Belize. Belong to the religious or political organization of choice without fear of political or religious or any form of victimization. Live in love with himself or herself and neighbors. Is judged only by the contents of character. United in peace with that common bond of being a Belizean and determined to move Belize forward. Mohandas Gandhi said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." So, as our national anthem says, and I repeat, "O land of the free by the Carib Sea, our manhood we pledge to thy liberty. No tyrants here linger. Despots must flee this tranquil haven of democracy. The blood of our sires, which hallows the sod, brought freedom from slavery's oppression's rod. By the might of truth and the grace of God, no longer shall we be hewers of wood. Arise, ye sons of the Baymen's clan, put on your armor, clear the land. Drive back the tyrants, let despots flee, land of the free by the Carib Sea. Nature has blessed thee with wealth untold, o'er mountains and valleys where prairies roll. Our fathers, the Baymen, valiant and bold, drove back the invader this heritage hold. From proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon, through Coral Isle or Blue Lagoon, keep watch with the angels, the stars and moon, for freedom comes tomorrow's noon. Arise, ye sons of the Baymen's clan, put on your armor, clear the land. Drive back the tyrants, let despots flee, land of the free by the Carib Sea. So let us sing our national anthem loud and clear as Belizeans, united in the bond of love for our great country Belize. Happy Independence Day and long live Belize.